Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics Podcast.
I'm here for Peter. Which one?
I was going to say, plenty to choose from this week, Lilith Hellfire. That's right,
Three
kid.
Peters, no waiting.
Hey-oh!
Come on, Blue Chew.
That's right, Blue Chew, your only hope. Welcome back, kids, to the Ultimate Spider Cast. That's right. It's time for Spider-Man, the No Way Home, full of spoilers. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, it is Evil herself.
I'm going back on vacation. I don't need this. It's a little Hellfire, y'all.
Ow. And special guest, Mr. Marvel himself, Charlie, the Professor Essex.
Charlie the Professor. Oh, he said it already. Yeah, that's me. Thanks, Phil Podcast Perich.
Right, thank you.
He is podcasting. Personified.
All right, so yes, like I said, we're gonna be full of spoilers on No Way Home. Everyone has thoughts on this movie. I myself thoroughly enjoyed it, even though I can overlook the big plot hole. I still thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, what is the big plot hole? What's the big plot hole?
The Jamie Foxx plot hole?
Oh, okay. Look, and I had this whole conversation with Tristan. I don't think Tobey Maguire killed that first guy who killed Uncle Ben.
Wait, what?
So
That was Sandman. First of all, it was Sandman that killed Uncle Ben in Tobey Maguire's trilogy.
I know. Well, eventually, yes.
Yeah.
But the first, I don't think he killed that first person.
Yeah, he tripped. He tripped. Remember?
Well, whatever he did, yeah, I don't think.
The Jamie Foxx plot hole with Electro wasn't the spell that all these guys who found out Peter Parker was Spider-Man were brought to the universe. Jamie Foxx never found out. But he never found out.
Variants. Well, I mean, arguably, Norman
Actually, isn't
never
there a
found
deleted
out.
scene?
Norman knew.
No,
Yeah.
Green Goblin knew, not Norman.
You the one who was telling me Hulk Banner, it's all the same person. They just diluted themselves.
Well,
And in Norman's case, that is very much true.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. To me, that's minor. Whether or not Jamie Foxx knew, whether or not the Lizard knew, whether or not, because I never watched that movie.
Nobody did. That's why we didn't get a third one from Andrew Garfield.
They all knew.
That's why we didn't even know. Wait, did Lizard die? I don't know. Did he? No, actually.
Nobody even answered the question.
No,
The character didn't even know.
Wait, did I die too? Well, that's the thing. It's like, and that's the same. That's the Sandman issue. It's like, no, actually, a lot of the people didn't die. Some of them died.
Yeah, Sandman didn't. He just kind of
yeah, which is really
actually
kind of
floated away.
Yeah, it's kind of one of these weird things where it's like, again, maybe let's talk about this. Is if everyone trying to rush to do something, let's say, well, okay, who died and who didn't? Why did they die? Okay, so of course you'd need to get the other Peters in too. Then, but then all you need is Ned in his sling ring. So, and this is to me, this is the biggest, heaviest question. Is anyone going to do anything about the fact that Ned's magic?
No, we're saying hasta la vista to that, baby. It's gone. Nobody cares. We don't have to answer anything about that anymore.
I mean, unless they start like a strange academy.
We got our fancy blue suit. It's over.
Hey, at least I like the
homemade fancy blue suit, spandex and all.
Spoilers, I love it. Yeah, we got rid of all the Stark tech. He's making his own stuff now. That's what I wanted.
Okay, I really feel like this movie confirmed my two headcanons. One, Tony Stark was Tom Holland Spider-Man's dad the whole time, and that's why we never met. And two, Sony had rights to Uncle Ben.
Because she's saying Tom Holland still never mentions Uncle Ben. The other two can mention Uncle Ben, but Tom Holland still never mentioned Uncle
We
Ben.
got like a name tag on our luggage. That was it.
It said BP, that's it. So, yeah, that could be anything.
That could have been BP gas station for all we knew.
Exactly.
My headcanon is Benjamin Parker exists. He just died earlier. Tragic forklift accident.
Oh, also that Doctor Strange is not the real Doctor Strange. He is Mephisto in the MCU. Hashtag fight me.
No.
Yeah. Because he's evil, and he wanted Tony Stark out of the way because he knew he was his real father. I'm just saying, it all comes together for my headcanon.
I don't think, but it's like, did you sit in the theater like I told you?
Of course I did, Philip. Come on, don't like I told you in the text. Don't be like that, dude.
Okay, but
we get the trailer.
The very last was
for the actual trailer.
Yes,
for Doctor Strange too. Was that the What If Doctor Strange that shows up at the end there?
We don't know.
I mean,
here's the thing: it's like don't just assume.
We can't speculate about Multiverse of Madness because there's so many moving parts at this point. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, that could just be It's like it could. Although we do see Shema Gorath, so hey, shout out to Shema Gorath. He's been getting all the play this year. Shema Gorath should have been the person of the year, or the tentacle monster of the year.
A pencil could have been the Times Person of the Year. Don't get me started on that.
I cannot wait for Sean McGorath to show up, and we'll get all these articles. It's like, who's better, Starro or Sean McGorath?
Sean McGorath is better, just objectively.
It's more powerful, I believe.
It's an ancient evil. Yeah, it's it's just weird seeing Sean McGorath. Here's the thing with Sean McGorath: he's much less intimidating in reality.
Starro,
it's like every time he shows up in reality, it's like you're a big tentacle eye monster. Okay,
Starro is a diva. Printed internet. You can quote me on that.
Oh, Starro. Anyway, but I'm not gonna say because this is a beautifully made film. It's really enjoyable to watch. Great character arcs. I just wish that Sony hadn't spoiled everything before it came out.
They spoiled everything. It's just that they don't know. They don't crack the whip like they do at Disney. It's a different machine.
No. Like all their legitimate releases told everything. They
wanted butts in the seats.
And they got them, to be fair.
Yeah, even at 11 o'clock, my showing was packed. So
they're getting pre-pandemic numbers, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
we always knew that, though. We always knew that was going to be the movie, though.
Oh, yeah.
Although,
I'm sorry, Shang-Chi. It was never going to be you for those numbers. You did great. We're getting to Shang-Chi, too, but it was never going to be you, buddy. It was never going to be Eternals. It was always going to be Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
To be fair, they are threading the needle on the Omicron. So it's like they got just under the wire, just before it goes crazy. Like literally this week, it's like freaking, February of like 2 years ago, and it's
exactly.
It's like, what this virus thing? What is this? Should we be worried? What is this? Like, close everything down. So
especially in your neck of the woods, man. You see, they shut down Saturday Night Live last night. Poor Paul Rudd for his intro into the Five Timers Club. I got to introduce a bunch of clips.
Yeah, well, they still gave him his smoking jacket.
Yeah,
because they don't want to mess with Disney. They're like, no, it's okay. We don't need to.
Well, actually, Paul Rudd's an immortal being right up there with Keanu Reeves and everybody, and Nicolas Cage, so they were going to give it to him anyway. Has nothing to do with Disney.
I was waiting to see if his jacket had 4.5 on it.
Yes.
Because Keenan did say, for being in the 4.5 time club.
Yeah, they need to give him a do-over once they can have an audience and everything again.
Yeah, well, I'm sure
he'll be back.
Just in time for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania coming out?
Exactly.
Is this all part of Disney's master plan?
Well, according to South Park, it just might be. If you get it, you get it.
Yeah.
I watched the pandemic specials, love. Yeah.
Every time he bleeps that penguin.
But so like I think I was telling you, Lilith, did they end this movie the way they did? Because I mean, again, this was originally supposed to come out in the summer. So I don't think Disney and Sony were at an agreement at the time this was made. So it's like, okay, we're gonna set everything back so he can go to the Sonyverse if you have to. He can stay in the MCU if he has to.
Yeah, it's a toss-up. I feel like regardless of what they were going to do, was always going to... this particular trilogy was always going to end ambiguously, just in case.
Yeah, and to be fair, what they actually set up is that when they bring Spider-Man back, and they will, and that's just open secret now.
Oh, yeah.
When they bring Spider-Man back, he is going to be a much more of a established Spider-Man that we know. He's going to be...
We're out of high school, finally.
His own man.
Out of high school. He's going to be going to Empire State University.
Exactly. Not MIT.
He's going to be working for...
Hey, that is a SUNY school. And do you know what a SUNY school is? Actually, technically, it's probably a CUNY school. City University of New York. That's free to New York residents.
Because we know he's a broke son of a...
Yeah, but he's going to go to a public university in New York City, greatest city in the world, next to Newark.
We'll let him have it, Phil. Don't interrupt him.
To be fair, California has a free college system. So California and New York have free public college systems where if you are a resident, you get to go to college relatively for free, or at least at exceptionally low cost. And that's a good thing. And so he's going to get to go to Empire State University.
Well, to be fair, all the taxes that they charge, the kids should get something out of it.
Well, I mean, but that's what taxes
are for. But rarely are they used for that.
What they're supposed to be for, yes.
Yeah, well, but some states do it right, I guess, is the answer. And of course, the thing is, if you want good services, you pay higher taxes, and that's how that works. If you want better services, pay more taxes.
So yeah,
it's like
So just the way they ended that, I'm like, okay, the only thing they have to bring back is Tom Holland. I mean, they can start fresh. Hopefully, he's working.
We're getting Harry. I don't know. He's gonna be Harry in Empire. I guarantee you, bro.
I told you I was waiting for Toby and Andrew to say, "Yeah, my best friend tried to kill me." Harry? Yeah, Harry. Oh yeah, me too. I've been there. Yeah.
And I love how they're like, Ned's like, I promise I won't turn into a supervillain and try to kill you. I'm like, can't make that promise, Ned.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think they're gonna bring Ned and Zendaya back. MJ back, because I do think
I was gonna say this would be the time to bring Ned back as a supervillain. Just be like, oh yeah, the Mind Wipe did something, man. They totally messed with him or something.
I mean, it could be, but I want him to be a magic base. That's the thing. Like, if they're gonna have him come back as the Hobgoblin, I want him being full Inferno Hobgoblin.
Oh yeah, half demon. Yeah,
man. I want him to be, when he goes to MIT, I want him to be like Doom's roommate. Like, yeah, let's see what we could do, man. Let's see if we can contact the Netherrealm.
And then he just shouts, I got tabs on Morgan Le Fay.
Oh, my goodness.
Deep cut.
I mean, and again, can I just say how cowardly is it of Peter to shut down MJ there? It's like, oh, I could tell her, but then she's going to be in my world, and oh my goodness, it'll break my heart, or break her. I don't know whose heart he was worried about breaking there.
Well, again, it's a theme of all the Spider-Man movies. It's like, she's going to be in danger. If I don't bring her back into my world, she's, theoretically, she's going to be safer.
It never works out honestly, that way, though.
I mean, she was going to eat by a lizard man.
Exactly. It doesn't, and it also takes away all of her agency. It's a bad move, Pete. Don't do that.
But that's a classic Peter Parker move, to be fair. I will say that's very true to the character. So, and people got mad at me when I said, "Well, I was like, Jameson's right. He is a menace. We love him. We love a messy king, but he is a menace."
I hope Peter's working for Jameson when he comes back, man. So we can get Jameson back. Yes.
Oh yeah, because now we saw, he went from his apartment to a studio in like 3 weeks. That doesn't change.
That's that Alex Jones trajectory, baby. But he could lose it all in an instant.
I know, but
he was even selling the vitamins.
Even on the sponsors, yes.
Oh no,
like,
those
ooh,
were Daily
chef's
Bugle
kiss.
brand. Those were Daily Bugle brand, which is I just thought that was just great. He's keeping it in house. He's doing a very vertical organization of his organization. It's a brilliant move. I wonder if we're going to find out that there used to be a Bugle that got like destroyed at some point.
Well,
that,
see, the thing is, in Morbius,
Or it's
it's an actual paper, and it's the actual Daily Bugle from that. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Well,
So I
again,
don't know.
it's a
well,
newspaper.
maybe he's actually established his own Bugle. Like,
But it's Bugle.net. He
yeah.
couldn't get the .com, so
Oh,
Yeah.
or it's going all digital because the newspaper business,
yeah.
it's dying.
Yeah, but sometimes, honestly, I think it might be a point of pride for him to publish the physical property as well.
Now
That's
magazine.
always exactly. Well, that's the thing. It's like I have magazines delivered to my house. I don't actually read them.
For you.
They're for
But I
bathroom.
do
That's bathroom and coffee table material. Same thing here, sir.
You put your plate.
yeah, but I mean,
coffee table?
again, like that's what my phone is for most of that stuff. It's like my phone does everything.
You take your phone
Oh, you don't
to the
take your-
bathroom with you?
I take my phone everywhere.
Oh, did you see they have a thing now? You could put your phone in and not only does it charge it, but it sanitizes it. It's like a blue light thing.
Those things are scams, but okay. Back to the
I just
movie.
didn't want up to say it.
Not. I know this isn't the Patreon, but it's
I'm not
my
people.
feces, Phil. What am I sanitizing it from? It's to be
You
fair.
didn't say
it's
the
like,
S word, so it's fine. It's
Well,
fine.
but I'm not putting my feces up to my face either. Then
No,
If you're
but
not washing
I
your hands
also wash.
thoroughly enough, you might be.
Yeah, I do wash my hands after. I wash my hands as much as I wash anything. So there we go.
oh my.
Um,
Okay, kids, this review's gone right in the toilet.
Which, honestly,
well, this
for
has
an
nothing
MCU
to do
movie,
with the
is the
actual
opposite
story.
of what I expected. So,
It
So
was
you
the
were-
opposite of what you expected.
You were pleasantly surprised then.
yeah, because I thought it was going to be chaotic with all three of the Spider-Men, but man, I mean, Andrew Garfield really could have died in this movie. That's the only thing that would have made it perfect.
I can just hear you in the theater now when Toby.
No, I booed him. Everybody clapped when he shot. I said, "Boo! Screw that guy."
I was gonna say when Toby got stabbed, I was waiting for you to jump up.
I
and go,
almost
"No, you
lost
got
it."
the wrong one.
I almost lost it. Yeah,
Although I do like it. It's like I've been stabbed lots of times. It's fine.
exactly.
Yeah, this ain't a bad stab. I can tell. This is above the kidney, below the diaphragm. I'm good.
As much
Miss
as I
Other
love
Names.
Doc Ock, and Alfred Molina in this movie, I think Willem Dafoe stole the freaking show. Like 100%
Oh,
hands
yeah.
down.
Did you-
Chef's kiss.
Did you see his condition for coming back? 66 years old. His condition for coming back is I get to do
He
my
does
own
his own
stunt.
stunts. I
Yeah.
know. I was like, who the hell you think you are, Tom Cruise? Tom Cruise has got some run for his money now.
Yeah, well, I mean,
He's a svelte guy, though. Very spry, very alert
Oh,
for his
yeah.
age. We love him.
yeah,
He
I mean,
was great in
you know.
Aquaman, so it's always great to see him come back. And
I mean,
To
as long
be
as you
fair,
keep in shape.
he's a
yeah.
professional actor. His job is to be spry and in shape and to memorize things.
I ain't gonna name no
that's-
names, Bruce Willis, but
Well, no. I mean, clearly, not everyone does that. I'm just
exactly my
saying.
point. Exactly my point.
I'm just saying.
He could have
it's like,
just
you know,
wrote the check, is what I'm saying. He could have just stood there, done nothing, but he
Yeah.
decided that that's not what he wanted to do, and we love that for
Yeah,
him.
well, that's the Burt Reynolds school of acting. Not everyone
Exactly.
subscribes to it.
Yeah, they had a bunch of buff older gentlemen on that set. Then Willem Dafoe, J.K. Simmons.
Yeah. And again, and I think in its own way, it's because these guys are not superstars. So when they get that opportunity to really just be to be an actor and professional and in a money thing where they don't have to work anymore, it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to go to the gym now. I'm going to actually do these things and make myself feel good about myself. And, read books and memorize scripts and really be all into my art and my performance because that's what I'm getting paid for. I don't have to worry about whether or not, payroll goes through. I just have to worry about whether or not I look good on camera.
Like I said, it's
That's
just
a
not a
great
lot
life.
of older guys that are willing to do that. It's like literally Tom Cruise is the only like guy over 45 that's like out there still doing his own stunts and just being that guy. So it's just nice to
I
see
think all the
company.
Marvel guys do that. I think Paul Rudd is doing his stuff, and I think definitely Chris Pratt is still very much in shape.
Yeah, but I thought a lot of times for insurance purposes they would
Yeah.
Not Chris
do
Pratt.
them.
Not Chris Pratt.
Evans.
Chris Evans. I'm sorry. I said that.
Yeah, I was just like,
The fit.
No, Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt is
he's the
not a
other
guy.
Chris. Okay, it's Chris Evans, it's Chris Pine.
Be Chris.
Chris Evans can
It's
get
weird how many Chris's there are. It's like there are too
It
many
was a
Chris's.
popular name back in the 70s, I guess.
Apparently, I don't know, man.
Oh yeah, well, it was probably one of the biggest names back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, I knew a couple. I mean, I guess I knew Chris's when I was a kid. So yeah, I guess everyone knew a Chris, and now all the Chris's became actors. So
Everyone knows.
Chris's
that.
and Mike's and
Oh
Chris's.
my God! You know what I just thought? They need to bring J.K. Simmons back as Jameson. Get him driving a Spider Slayer or something. No.
Yes.
Oh well, we may get that. We may get weird. As the Contessa says, things are going to get weird. I just want you to know.
Okay,
Things are
we
gonna
got
get
Matt
weird.
Murdock, too.
Yep.
Charlie, sorry.
Pre-spell,
Charlie Cox.
fully
Thank you.
powered, Charlie
Cox,
Cox,
Will,
Matt
Cox.
Murdock. And, and you can say, well, does this mean all Netflix is canon? It's like, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Enough of Netflix is canon to say that this is Daredevil.
Poor Denny Rand died, though. We'll have to bring in a variant.
Who died?
Wait, what?
No, I'm saying that's gonna be nobody wants that guy from Iron Fist.
Yeah,
Everybody's like everything else is
Denny
good.
Rand
No
died,
Iron Fist. Get a variant.
Well, here's the thing. He could have fought alongside Iron Fist, and then they could say, "Gee, did you get your eyes done?" They can.
Yeah, get his face messed up.
They
and have
can.
to get
It's
fixed,
like, oh
yeah.
my goodness, you look so. It's like you look a little bit different. Or they'll say, no. It's like, do I look different? I don't know. I got punched in the face a lot when I was overseas.
Never have I felt worse for an actor than I felt with Mike Coulter having to carry them damn Danny Rand scenes. Never. It was uncomfortable. It's like, y'all are supposed to be bros. You should have had a beer or two before you shot this. Good grief.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I do wonder if we're going to get a lot more of replacements. I mean, I do wonder if they're slow walking. What's his name? Michael B. Jordan into the T'Challa role. I do wonder if that's something that they're
Well, I
setting
know he's
up.
coming back, but it's like is he a different character? I didn't read the article because I don't care.
Yeah. Well, he's supposed to come back in the realm of the dead
Oh.
as
Unless they do a thing where
somebody-
T'Challa comes back in his body or something,
Well, the thing is, look, man, the man can cut his hair and grow a beard.
Yeah.
The man can be. It's not that much of a stretch for him to just change his persona. He's an actor. You change your hairdo, and now you're the other character.
But sometimes
That's
they
how
like steer.
acting works.
Sometimes they like steer it into that skid, especially the guy's already appeared.
Yeah,
on
especially
screen.
specifically with the whole Chadwick Boseman thing and
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know, but even Chadwick
and Letitia
Boseman,
Wright has totally like really flubbed everything right now, so they're just like, crap, we got to do some
Yeah,
time
they're
control
like-
here. So
we
between
need to fix
opinions-
this.
Between opinions, get injured. Yeah, she's.
Yeah. Anyway, but getting back to this actual movie, I was a little disappointed that when the Stark AI got into Otto's arms, that didn't fix his brain. And it struck me is that this is actually the real depth of the Otto character. That it was never really the arms. It was always his id. Is that when the arms took over, it was his id being allowed to take over. And then as soon as, that even though the arms were never really in control, it was just he was letting it force his id. And then essentially what the new inhibitor chip did was reestablished some equilibrium between his id and superego. So he could be the guy who's like, oh, maybe that's not a good plan. Maybe I could actually have social norms again.
Charlie,
you know, when he
Charlie,
does-
Charlie, you could headcanon it where it's like, those arms are from a different universe, and Otto's tech was so advanced, Tony Stark's couldn't, completely fix it, so they actually had to make a chip to fix it.
Well, no, because clearly the AI took over the arms. So clearly the AI was in charge of the arms. The arms aren't telling Ock to do nothing.
Well,
at that point.
it could control the arms, but it couldn't, actually fix it,
You know who got the best deal out of this whole thing? It's Jamie Foxx. He got to redeem that character.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I felt very happy for him.
And he's like, no, come over, and yeah.
Yeah, well, because he Dr. Manhattan'd it,
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Manhattan didn't look like that before he got broken down to his composite molecules. He put himself back together with the abs and the string, and everything, and the schlong for days, and he was good.
Talking about your Blue Chew.
Yeah, it's, and that's what he did. He brought himself back and was like, wait a minute, what? And his people, that's the other plot hole, is that Jamie Foxx and Kurt Connors never met each other. That, they didn't know each other when they were both working at Oscorp. They were in
They didn't
different
have to.
departments.
He could have just known of him.
Yeah, but they
had a beer.
There were two different movies. Yeah, Connors was a scientist, and Jamie Foxx was kind of more like hardware, type.
Apparently Sony's universe needs OSHA too. Everybody's falling in the eels, and
I know.
Oh yeah,
I'm joking. Like, oh yeah, he fell in a pit of electric eel.
Yeah. Didn't someone else fall in something?
And everybody was like, "It happens."
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he's talking to Sandman, and Sandman's like, "Oh yeah, I fell in a
Super collider.
Collider, yeah.
Collider, yeah.
Yeah,
It's not just DC that needs OSHA.
No,
So I don't know which Electro origin is worse: the movies where he fell into the eels, or the comic book where he's just like working on some power lines and lightning.
I like the power lines origin better. And I like that they kind of nodded to that too, where when he first meets him, he's out there in the power line field. I thought that was a little neat nod.
Well, I always felt like Electro was like one of those sort of like not a mutant, but like one of those guys that was just mutant adjacent. He like had half an X gene, and then once something happens, that triggers his superpowers. Yeah, exactly. It's well, no, but for real, they're setting that all up. I mean, obviously, we're getting some kind of mutants eventually. You own them. You don't just leave the mutants on the side.
I don't know. A lot of damage to the property. They're trying to.
Oh,
they're workshopping the hell out of whatever. However, they're going to introduce them. They're workshopping the hell out of it. They're going to have it down to a science. They're not going to play around about it.
They're bringing the X-Men in eventually, because I mean, look how much money this movie made. I mean, I think they said this is the third biggest.
Yeah, behind Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah, and
it was like, what is it at? It's at like 247 domestically and 535 worldwide so far. So,
and I think it was like the second biggest opening day too, behind Endgame. So
yeah.
Boy, I wonder if we're gonna bring Tom Holland back.
I mean, he's busy doing he's got all these other projects with Sony, Uncharted, which had like 2 damn trailers in my showing. I'm like, you said 11 o'clock. This thing, I didn't get out of the movie till 2 o'clock, bro. Like, the actual movie didn't start till 11:30. I was very annoyed.
I know. With ours, it's at least 15 minutes of previews. I know.
Oh, I got very few. I went in at 9:55. I got out at
the IMAX screening has to have all the commercials to make
I did regular version. I still got at least 15 minutes.
I went to my local theater, owned by Shaquille O'Neal, and we sat, we watched.
Is he out here giving Magic Johnson a run for his money now?
Yeah, he owns his, and it's a very nice theater. It's called the Cineplex 12 in Newark. I love it. Affordable popcorn and nice staff that works there. It's a really nice theater. It's not like your super fancy Dolby seating theater, but you know what? It's a good theater. You sit, you watch a movie, you enjoy it, you eat your popcorn, you drink your drink, you have your Sour Patch Kids, and it's a great film experience. People get too wound up in the fancy.
I mean, what's the previews at Jersey? It's like, forget about it. Just watch the movie.
No, well, we got. I think we got the standard. We got like 3 or 4 previews.
I mean, no,
And then
literally, my movie theater every 15 minutes. I think all they had was Spider-Man: Homecoming. Every 15 minutes they had a showing.
Oh yeah. Oh please. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think
I was like, what?
at least half the screens at ours were Spider-Man. Oh.
yeah.
I mean, not everybody. It was just like, wow.
Hey, they know they're gonna make business. So.
Jam packed too, and somebody was coughing, and I was just like, I almost got into a fight, bro.
Yeah, we went at 5:00, and like the theater. I think the theater might have been like half full. It wasn't too bad. There was nobody like immediately next to us or behind us. So.
Yeah, I always go early. I always go early just because it's cheap.
I don't
but
like
it's also
screaming
nice.
babies, so
Because there's space.
Yeah,
No
we had to
one
wait
wants
for
to sit
Lucy
next
get
to
home.
anyone in a movie. It's
Oh
like,
yeah, if we go on a Saturday, we go to like the first movie. It's cheaper. There's not that many
exactly.
people there.
That's nice. So what else happened in this movie? Aunt May died.
thank God, because she gave terrible advice, and you always knew she was gonna be the terrible version of Aunt May because she had her community center. I'm just saying, as soon as she got that community center in the comic books, it's the arc I hate the most for Aunt May. I hate it for her so much.
Hey.
I was just like, hey.
Hey, she's the first one in live action to get that quote right. With great power, there must come great responsibility.
Exactly.
Yeah. And which, Pa Kent appreciates since he's the one who actually said it.
Who even?
No, Pa Kent from the
serials.
the
or is it the
Superman
radio show?
serials.
The radio serials, right?
No, it was the Superman serials.
Okay.
Because those actually I think predate the radio show even. Because you got
you're right.
You got the live, you got like the Superboy youth of Clark Kent in the serials. So, but Pa Kent, said that, and it's great. I'm sure Stan Lee said that. Ooh, that's a good line. I'm going to write that down. I'll use that later. Just like the guy who designed WALL-E was watching Short Circuit and said, "Ooh, that is a good robot design." Remind myself to use that later.
Excelsior.
Oh yeah, it's still weird not having Stan cameos. Like,
yeah, we miss him. We miss him dearly.
we do.
So
was Steve Ditko in this at some point? I want to feel like he was, or is he dead? Was Steve Ditko in this? No.
I don't think. I thought.
Is he alive? I don't know. I don't know all these great artists. They sometimes pass away, and I don't necessarily remember who does. I only know Stan Lee just because
I just assume everybody from the 60s is dead at this point except for Betty White.
Yeah.
Yeah, he died in 2018. Yeah.
Oh, okay. There was a guy. I was like, wait, is that Ditko? I don't know.
He was born in 1927, so he'd be 90-some right now. So.
And
Betty White's pushing 100.
I know.
She's
And the queen is just foaming at the mouth like she can't believe it.
So Lilith, since they killed off Aunt May in this movie, can we finally kill her off in the comic book?
They would never in the comic books.
I know.
I wasn't shocked. I was just like, because like I said, they were cleaning up everything in this movie. It was just kind of obvious once they killed Aunt May. Oh yeah, we're never turning back.
Well, what they did is they established a new continuity. Which they always had a new continuity. This is the MCU continuity. It's a little different than every other continuity, and that's the idea. That's the variant idea that Feige has embraced. Is that yes, it's familiar, but it's not exact. It rhymes, but it doesn't match.
He's basically firmly MCU, but it's like Sony's going to get their little kickback every time.
Oh yeah,
I like the new suit. That was my favorite part. I'll say it time and time again. That's the part I got the most excited about.
Wait, what?
At the end, the blue suit.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
It was handmade. I almost could have sworn that was the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man's apartment set, but the oven was off. Like the placement of the oven was.
I was waiting for the guy to say as he was moving in there, says, "Yeah, the door sticks" or something.
I was waiting on Mandy, Candy, and Bambi.
No, Mr. Ditkovich from Toby's movies. Brent.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like I was waiting for something like that to be in
Bruce
there.
Campbell. Bruce Campbell's going to show up in the Doctor Strange movie, though, because Sam Raimi's directing it. So.
I think
that's in Sam Raimi's contract. He's always there.
Oh, no, is he going to do the voice of Shuma Gorath?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I could see that. Doctor Strange, and his is interesting.
He was off. Did he seem off to anybody else? That's what I'm telling you. That wasn't the real Doctor Strange.
He got humbled. He's not Sorcerer Supreme anymore.
This is what I'm going to say. What's interesting is the "don't use that spell" line
wasn't there.
Isn't in the scene, but it is in the trailer. Which now we're going to hear it there. You're like, what is the spell you're not supposed to use? But it's clear that yes, you know, and honestly, you know, the pure hubris, the pure caucasity of Doctor Strange.
And that's always been Doctor Strange, to be fair.
I know, but just saying, oh, he got to be Sorcerer Supreme on a technicality. It's like, dude,
Wong didn't really want it, but he deserved it. So I like that line.
I know, exactly. He's always deserved it.
Yeah, I mean, and technically you were dead for 5 years, so.
Yeah, and although arguably, you know, it does look bad on his resume that, you know, there was a massive multiversal incursion and he didn't show up. It's like, Strange, what are you doing? It's sort of like he just decided that, you know what, I'm just going to let that simmer over in New York. I'm over here doing my thing. I'm fighting Dormammu or somebody. It's okay. I'm gonna let my dog
He's hanging out with the Hulk and Captain Marvel. Okay, if I had to be stuck with Strange in a house, I'd leave every chance I got. Okay.
Burn.
Makes me wonder if Multiverse of Madness is going to have something to do with him.
This should be repercussions from this.
I told you, is it going to be like? Is it going to be him? I cast this giant spell, but I don't remember what the hell it was.
I mean, it might be. It might be. I'm most interested in the whole Eye of Agamotto's Time Stone thing because they've remade the amulet. He's wearing the amulet, but it doesn't have a Time Stone.
Yeah.
And part of me wonders: is the amulet supposed to gather the energies of the stone to it? And the idea that, you know, obviously you can't destroy the stones, you can disperse them, but the stones have a will of their own. The stones are going to recoalesce in their forms elsewhere.
Or just like a magic battery, or, you know, it's something just to replace that Time Stone.
Well, you know, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, whatever it's going to be, but I just think that the thing that held it is going to recreate it. I think that we haven't lost the Infinity Stones yet, and I think they are going to address that later. Because, you know, it's too good of a MacGuffin to just say, oh, they were destroyed. Especially when they make the whole point of, oh, if you take this out of our universe, then our universe is doomed. But we're going to return it to a universe that is also doomed because it won't have a Time Stone when we take it out. It's like clearly, and also clearly, time is still flowing. So obviously they're there, you know, and we've got a drawer full of these things at the TVA. So, you know, hop back into this universe with one of those handy dandy time stones. Maybe it works.
Who knows about that Time Stones? Because it's supposedly in Loki, they don't work outside their own universe. But meanwhile, in What If, Ultron's just smashing through realities with a set of Infinity Stones.
Well, no, they didn't. No. See, they never actually made the caveat they don't work outside of their own universe. They made the caveat they don't work outside of time and space.
Oh, okay.
It's a difference. If Loki had been paying attention, he would have had a time stone when he walked back to that time at the Rocks cart. And yeah, you know, he would have had the thing, you know.
I just love the immediate repercussions with the Quentin Beck was right graffiti everywhere, and just.
So who was right, Mysterio or Thanos? Someone tell me who was right.
Well, I don't know why Quentin Beck was right. That's the weirdest thing about that to me. It seems like it was like a copy of the Thanos was right. And you can see.
People will latch on to anything. I mean, especially in a universe where people were blipped away. Do you know what I mean?
Well, no, but in the blip, it's like, here's what I'm going to say. I can understand the argument that I can understand Flag Smasher's argument from Falcon Winter Soldier. I don't necessarily know what Quentin Beck's argument even was, aside from the fact that he wanted to be a superhero and Peter Parker maybe killed him. But I don't know that he actually took any particular stand.
Charlie,
What is
Charlie,
he right about?
You don't have to make sense. Quentin Beck had a point of view. J. Jonah Jameson, Fox News picked it up, and a bunch of people believed it. It didn't have to
But
make
no,
sense.
like what is the point of view that Spider-Man's a menace? Okay, I can work with that.
Peter Parker killed me, Bigly. I'm gonna make the multiverse great again. Yeah, get it?
I don't know. I'm a little. I'm not quite sure what he's supposed to be.
Don't you bring your logic into this?
It's like critical race theory. It's like, okay, he was right. What is he right about? And it's like, don't ask me that question.
Also, I really didn't like the Statue of Liberty. I think that was my least favorite
With the
thing.
giant shield on it. Although
Yeah.
I didn't even pick up on it, but Charlie even said it to me. It's like they mentioned it in Hawkeye this week because when Elena's like, "Oh yeah, I want to see the new and improved Statue of Liberty."
Yeah.
And we're back to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. breadcrumbs. Gotta love it.
Oh, did you see they had a Rogers the Musical billboard in the movie?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's all in there.
They better have a real Rogers the Musical by next year, or we riot.
Christmas special, yes. Disney Plus, get the work.
Yeah, there's supposed to be an 8-minute version of it on stage.
They got Lin-Manuel somewhere working on it right now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I hope it lives up to the hype. That's the problem. I think it's a brilliant idea.
It's a one-act play. That's the plot twist.
No, it's you have the roadmap. You just take all the Captain America movies and you end with Endgame, and you just.
I know. But man, the
music.
They were burnt so bad by Turn Off the Dark. That's the real.
Truly.
They were so burnt. It's like, man, do we want to try and do a superhero musical? Because I think everyone wants to do a superhero musical. Somehow India can churn these things out like 6 a week. But it's hard for us, man. We don't have that passion for the superhero singing and dancing extravaganza. As much as we've tried, because I think even Agent Carter had a singing and dancing scene in it. So, it's weird. There's this desire for the superhero musical that has not been cracked. Maybe Rogers will do it. We'll see. They gotta get freaking Manuel Miranda to do it.
Oh yeah.
They need a guy that can spit fire and lay down those tracks, and that's gonna do it. Because it's got to be that syncopated rhythm. It's got to be pow pow pow. Like a superhero fight.
I mean, Disney has the money to hire the best of the best to do it, so it's like, whatever. I'm not.
Yeah, but do you want to pay the best of the best? Is there someone that's as good as the best of the best, but no one knows who they are yet? That's Disney's thing.
Well,
really hungry,
I should say
people.
That they know how to find the best people, whether they're already known or they're not known. Yeah.
It's not that they find them; it's that they groomed them on a farm. You guys don't know about that?
Disney Farm, yeah, we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
The Mickey Mouse Club. I'm just saying that still goes on. I'm just letting you know.
Oh well, yeah.
Timberlake, yeah, that's true.
Christina Aguilera, J.C. Chavez, Ryan Gosling, and the list even goes back further than that Mickey Mouse Club. So I'm just saying they actually do like.
Oh, hey, Ego himself is the computer who wore tennis shoes. Let's be clear here. They knew how to find a talent and groom it and build it to be a star. And groom it not a bad way. Groom it like an apprenticeship way.
A good way,
because that word has gotten a very bad rap lately.
Yes.
With people who use it for unsavory circumstances. But they knew how to.
It's very old Hollywood to put it in the quickest way possible. But I'm just really impressed that the story actually came together. Few plot holes withstanding. I still had a great time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody got their redemption. Poor Andrew Garfield got his redemption. He saved MJ.
Got to catch the girl this time, yes.
It was great that he got his redemption arc. That's all I'm going to say.
I was like, is he going to kill her? Is this why we're going to get a real redhead Mary Jane?
No, the minute I think it was even in the ads or something. The minute I saw her fall, and I'm like, oh, Andrew Garfield's going to catch her.
I was just thinking,
yeah,
no!
because he needed that moment.
Anybody but him, Green Goblin, go get her!
Oh.
But you know what? Do you know what's lousy about that? Is the fact that it's like, oh, I saved your true love. Oh, I'm just going to let her forget about me.
She's still an innocent that needed saving.
True, but it's like, I saved her so you guys could be like your one true loves forever and ever. It's like,
it's okay. He'll either meet Gwen or Mary Jane in Empire State. It's
I was going to say, and once again, I don't think they knew which way they were going when they made this. So now that it's still going to stay in the MCU,
how do we know if Zendaya is in those next movies is if she breaks up with Tom Holland? Because that is a PR relationship if I've ever seen. No shade to Tom. Lovely man, lovely guy, but that is a PR relationship.
Are they actually dating in real life?
Yeah, supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly. Yeah.
But only when they got together on the set of, the movie, which, it goes like, it be like that sometimes.
That's Ben Affleck. That's Ben Affleck for you, He does a movie. He meets a Jennifer.
That's Brad Pitt. That's a lot of people. That's Tom Cruise. That's a lot of people.
The Peter Tingle.
The tingle. Is your tingle tingling?
Is everyone's Peter tingling? Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
yikes.
Everyone's Peter
I
tingle.
need that as a drop, Philip.
I did like when poor Andrew Garfield, who hates Mondays and loves lasagna, we know.
BoJack said it, so it's canon.
First off, who doesn't like lasagna and who likes Mondays? It's like, I don't think you're going out on a limb when saying that Andrew Garfield dislikes Mondays and loves lasagna. But, just how down he was on just everything. And it's like,
well, his particular universe is garbage. So I would be
I love it's like, I fought an alien. Me too. I fought a guy in a mechanized rhino suit.
Yeah, but it's like,
What's
amazing.
An Avengers?
He's an amazing Spider-Man. And
I love that.
I love
Thus?
That. Yeah, I know.
I love Toby. Yeah. Ooh, Avengers. What's that?
Yeah, that's so cool. What is that? Yeah.
Listen, Tobey Maguire is he's Ben Reilly. Let's just be real.
No, like Charlie said, you could do that universe now, but have Mayday Parker.
Yeah, I was hoping he was going to say they had a kid. I was like, come on, you guys have a kid.
Well,
right?
They have to hold that back. They gotta be careful with what they do yet. But that would also explain why he's not in the uniform.
Well, he had it underneath. It's fine.
Yeah, well, maybe he just wears that like underwear. It's kind of, I don't know. I might need to jump into a fray. Let me keep my underoos on.
Or you could say after this movie, that was his injury. That's why he can't be Spider-Man anymore. Whatever.
Yeah, his back injury.
Punctured. Yeah.
It was funny about the back injury because he actually did get a back injury on the set of the second one, and they tried to have they're going to have Jake Gyllenhaal replace him because Kristen Dunst loves a guy that looks like Tobey Maguire. Just saying, Elijah Wood, look out. So I thought that was kind of a fun meta thing too.
Yeah. And it was a joke too in Spider-Man 2, because when he's trying to get
does the backflip,
falls off the roof, he's like, oh, my back.
Yeah. Anyway,
because you're 30 playing a teenager, buddy.
Yeah, but he's got that Paul Rudd gene, he's got that.
Oh no, as much as I love him, he has not aged as gracefully as some. But I still love him. It's fine. Everybody's genetics are different.
He looked good in this movie. That's all I'm going to say. I am looking forward. What would have really sold that is if he had the goatee. Then we'd know.
No, we would have thought he was from the evil Mirrorverse, though. That's what we're trained to believe. So I'm glad that.
Yeah.
Every Strange is from the Mirror Universe.
I mean, you know how I feel about him, so that would be about right.
So, when you see the clean-shaven Strange,
that's when you run.
I think I saw someone describe this movie, especially that scene with Tom Holland and him in the basement doing the spell in the towards the beginning. Someone's like, yeah, two British guys in a basement doing bad American accents.
A wizard's dungeon? I was like, she's not wrong.
Oh, no. First off, none of these people were doing bad American accents.
No, Tom Holland's accent is kind of...
No, he's...
it's rough.
Andrew Garfield does a bad American accent.
Oh, poor
I will not agree. I'll agree with that, actually.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm going to say. You got to always take all these things in context. You know, first off, to say there's not an American accent. There's like a million.
Well, Tom is specifically like doing some random New York mixed with I don't know what accent. So
Tom Holland sells it because Tom Holland is TV American accent. He's the what you know. There's this.
Let's go get.
There's this idea in Hispanic culture, which is the Telemundo accent.
yeah.
Which is everyone in Telemundo has a certain way they talk that infuses all the local dialects of Spanish. So everyone has that Telemundo accent. And Tom Holland does basically a Full House accent. It's like, this is what people in America talk like. This is what I know. This is what Ross and Rachel talk like. This is what everyone in New York talks like. I'm just mimicking that organization of vowels and consonants.
We were on a break.
And it doesn't matter if that's what people from Queens or Manhattan or anywhere
Or
else
Long
talk
Island.
like. Yeah, it's like he's trying to do a character that is from America.
I know, I get it. I'm just saying.
And as much as Africa is a country to everyone in America, America is a single place for everyone outside of it, you know? In the same way that we think there's a Canadian accent. There's like 100 Canadian accents. There's 1,000 American, but there's still 100 Canadian accents.
Shout out to my new fundies. The best accent in all of Canada.
Well, exactly. That's the most pronounced one, so that's what everyone thinks all Canadians talk like.
Hey, put it.
Because it is the best accent, you know?
I'm sorry. Alberta's a close second. I'm not going to lie. I'll give it to
One of
Alberta.
these days I'm going to go to Australia and everyone's going to be like, oh, yes, how are you doing, sir? It's like, well, you don't ever. No, this isn't the Australian accent. No, that's just Queensland. I don't know what you're talking about. That's Tasmanian. Yeah, I know. We all laugh at that accent. We laughed at that accent first because that's that accent. That's not everybody else in Australia.
I thought they were Boston pizza owners.
I just want to know what happened to everybody. That's my cliffhanger. I'm just like,
yeah,
oh.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we're gonna see that in the next 6 Tom Holland MCU adjacent Spider-Man.
I was counting the villains and I'm like, it's only 5.
Hey, Sinister 5. I know. Sinister 5.
Oh, baby. Furious.
Tristan noticed that too.
I just kept going. Where's the other one gonna come in? Is it gonna be Rhino?
Hey.
Is that the secret?
No, it was intentional.
Did you guys feel called out? The 6th one was at the bar and couldn't get out of the bar.
Exactly.
No, it was intentional to make you people feel like idiots for saying there has to be a 6th villain.
What do you mean?
And saying no.
I knew, but I just like in my heart of hearts, just like when my friend goes, "Oh, Miles, yeah," I was like, "Yeah, they can't have the animated guy." Sorry.
No, I mean, although I did like to call out, it's like, I'm sure there's
got to be a black Spider-Man somewhere. Like,
and
well,
that, we'll
right.
get him. We'll get Miles eventually. We're gonna get Miles. That's the thing.
Miles needs to stay in the Spider-Verse. I do not need, like, literally nobody can live up to that Spider-Verse. I'm sorry.
No, but here's what I'll tell you. You might get Miles in an adjacent Sony property. So you might
I would want Disney to have Miles if we're gonna be real.
Hey, Peter goes to college. He trains a new high school Spider-Man, Miles Morales.
Well, he still needs a spider bite, you know.
Well, it happened in the comics, man.
I know.
Somebody's experimented with spiders again. We never saw Tom Holland get bit. Why do we need to see Miles Morales?
I think Sony owns that sequence too. Sony owned way more than we thought. Damn it.
MCU, they're just like, yeah, it happened, dude. Just take our word for it. It happened.
I just think it's something that we all knew. It's one of these things where, like, you know something exists.
Yeah, I don't even believe he's a real Spider-Man because A, he was working with a team. Now that we're getting this, I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, real Spider-Man has worked with many teams. Actually, my biggest disappointment in all of this is that we didn't get Chris Evans in a Future Foundation Human Torch uniform saying, "Hey, Webhead, what are you doing here?"
That would have been hilarious.
That would have been fantastic.
little disappointment too.
Did anybody have a Spider-Man dress up in their showing? I had like 5.
No.
No, like I said, I went early. I actually don't look at other people when I'm at a theater. I'm not there to look at people. I'm there to look at what the screen shows.
I mean, there's a line to get in, right?
But before
Are you not
No.
aware of your surroundings?
I don't know where you people go that there's lines at theaters. It's like,
I mean, I don't have a big line either, but like when you sitting there before the movie starts and there's nothing to do, you're like, oh, hey, there's 2 more people walked in.
no,
Or,
because
hey.
there's always an ad.
And you
There's
know how I
always
feel about
content.
ads.
I'm,
So
you know.
I am totally looking around and not paying attention to late stage capitalism.
Well, that's when I eat popcorn and drink soda. You know, it's like there's stuff to do.
Nah,
Just
man,
to play
I live in
video
Florida.
games.
You got to be aware of your surroundings.
You see, that's the thing. Is like in Newark, if you're always looking around, people know you're a mark. So you'd be like, no, I can see everything out of my peripheral vision. I don't need to look
And then you
anywhere.
get hit in the back of the head. Yeah, okay. No, thank you.
I got a thick head.
The was, bitches.
A hard head makes a soft behind, as my grandma once said. And
Hey-o!
speaking of soft behinds, that spandex made everybody look great.
Oh my.
Not Nightwing great, but great.
Anyway,
So is the MCU getting their own Venom? Are we gonna have Sony gets to do whatever they want with their Venom and Disney gets
Well,
to
they
have
left one behind, so I'm pretty sure that's what that means.
yeah.
Mhm. Oh, is Tom
Well,
Holland
you
gonna
know.
wear that suit next time?
Here's what's gonna be weird.
And do it right. Put the
When
white
Tom-
spider on it. Don't do the Spider-Man 3 thing. Come on.
No, here's the thing. When Tom Holland goes to Empire State University,
He's gonna be doing
he's
an
gonna meet a Dr. Connors. He's gonna meet a Dr. Otto Octavius.
He's gonna be
He's
shook.
gonna meet a Norman Osborn. Like, how are they gonna replay these so that it's not like, oh, that's this, you know? And obviously, the short answer is they're gonna gender flip all the characters, and it's gonna be Olivia. It's gonna be Octavia, Ottoman, you know, and it's gonna be Dr. You know. I don't remember
Karen.
what Connors. Yeah,
Karen
Connors.
Karen Connors. No,
Yeah.
well, it can't be Connors, so it has to be some other thing. It's like, oh no, I was
Constance
born in
Curtis
Connors,
or
but now
something. Yeah.
Constant Curtis.
yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Karen Curtis. That's a good one. You know.
And can I just say, I'm thoroughly the one thing I was disappointed about with this movie is no one said the word superior around Otto. Not once.
Yes. Well,
I was
you know.
waiting on Norman to say it, honestly. Oh, you
That's
think
right.
you're so superior, don't you?
Or at the end when Otto shows up and grabs Norman, I was waiting for Andrew or someone to say, man, what a superior fake out, Otto.
Yeah. Well, you know, the thing is to be fair, that's after the contract. There may be rules like you can't say superior. That is a Marvel copyright word
Oh,
in association with Otto Octavius.
yeah. Disney
You
probably
know.
owns that, yeah.
Yeah, because there are certain lines where certain things can't go cross over. So, like I think any character after the 70s, Sony doesn't own, but they own the stuff from the 60s. Like most of the most interesting characters are from the 60s.
Yeah, but they have Venom, though.
Well, that was negotiating
That is true.
thing.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Oh,
I mean, I don't.
I'm sure that was one of the top things on their list. Yeah, we want Venom.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's a hot property for merch alone. So
Well, especially
But
when did
it
they
goes into
when
that
did they
same
find
thing
out?
about
Like,
how
actually-
Universal doesn't own She-Hulk. You know.
Oh, that
just
back then.
different enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie was great. I was thoroughly surprised because I actually don't really enjoy Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I think Ned's the best thing about those Spider-Man movies. So
And which is why they got to bring Ned back. And you know, I don't know if you've seen any recent interviews with Ned. He has been in the gym. He is like he looks like a freaking ninja warrior now. And I want to see Ned lead Sorcerer Supreme.
You know what they
That's
need to
really
do? They need to make him like an apprentice, to either Doctor Strange or Wong, and have him in like the Young Avengers or something.
I would love that. I would love to see him as the magic user in the Young
Yeah.
Avengers, because he is svelte. He looks like a superhero now.
Although
He
that's
has
a bummer.
magic.
I mean, if he wanted to work out and get buff on his own, that's great. But he was fine just the way he was, and I think that would have been a better
either way.
representation. We
You
already
know,
have the buff Asian guy in Shang-Chi. That's all I'm saying. So
I know.
it would've been
Well,
nice
I don't know.
representation.
He's like super buff. I mean, maybe he's more like what's that guy? It's a funny guy who was.
Will
there's
Sasso?
lots of them, but I'm trying to remember. He was in Moneyball
Oh, no, I don't know.
Oh, Jonah Hill.
and Jonah Hill. Yeah, he might be Jonah Hill buff now, but he shaved his head too, so he's definitely trying to get a look.
Never go full Jonah Hill.
He still has a very wide mouth, which I don't think works with the shaved head. I think you need a very angular head to pull off a shaved head. You got to look like the leader, you know. If your head goes too far to the left, you kind of need to do something at the top to
I don't know what's
even
going
it
on.
out. But that's just my own opinions. This is aesthetics. This is like, that golden triangle thing, trying to figure out exactly what makes beauty. But he looks great. I think he looks awesome. And I would love to see him in as a future sorcerer. I would love to see him as a magic user in the Young Avengers.
Definitely.
And honestly, I don't know if anyone took back his sling ring. He's still got it, and he may not know what it is
true.
now.
Is that a loophole?
But
Is he going to remember eventually if he still has a mystical object or something?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's like one of those weirdest aspects of this. Like, what does his grandma remember about her grandchild opening up portals in her living room?
Maybe she just remembers Spider-Man shows up. She don't remember a face or anything. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, she didn't know who the heck Peter Parker was.
Exactly. Yeah.
So all of her memories might be completely intact. It's like, yes, remember you have that magic device and you can do the thing. It's like, oh yeah, that's what that is. Yes. Yeah, I remember. And because that's the thing. It's like, it's one of these weird things. It's like, that's the real plot hole is how does everyone square all their memories? Because they're still on the Statue of Liberty after a major battle. They don't know who Spider-Man is. They don't know who Peter Parker is. No one does. And I guess everyone forgot who they were as far as the relationship to him. But, at the same time, they're still there. They were there. They're witnesses to this devastating attack by this Spider-Man.
Did someone snap again?
Exactly.
It's interesting. And I would imagine that, I think Ned still has a sling ring.
All right. So before we wrap up, should we get to our 2 pieces of feedback?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, get
let's
to
do
the
that.
feedback. We've been going way long here.
Yeah. All right. So
I don't even think we talked about what happened in this film yet, so that's fine. Let them say what happened in the film.
All right. I'll start with Noel's because I'll have to read it. Yes, Noel, half of the Velvet Drapes. Hey, he's one of the loonies, and also he's starting a new podcast with Russell, who is supposed to be here. A Howard the Duck podcast. So they may be contacting both of you.
Quack, quack.
Oh my. All right. So Mr. Noel Tate said, I love the movie. Jumped almost instantly into my personal top 3 of the MCU movies. Was a celebration not just of the MCU Spidey, but of all the past films. Like almost everyone, I was spoiled a bit just from the rapid speculation. So even pretty much knowing we were getting Maguire and Garfield, their introduction was still sort of surprising to me. Same thing with Cox as Murdoch. I clapped like an idiot when they panned out and we saw his cane. What brilliant timing of Marvel Studios dropping episode 5 of Hawkeye in this film in the same week. I think that was intentional. Like the Hydra reveal in Cap 2 and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but done even better with more drama. The drama felt very classic Spider-Man, but May's death still felt bold and truly shocking. The fights also felt classic Spidey, but even more brutal. The fight with Goblin in the condo building was particularly vital. On the humor side, I could feel John Watts' underground comedic background in some of the awkward scenes, like the 3 Peters doing science. He also seemed to have that particular classic corny Spider-Man down pat. I think they did a great job bringing in past characters from the other franchises, focusing and expanding on what worked in the other movies and redeeming the ones that didn't work so well in the past. Defoe and Molina shined, but the rest of the villains, Jamie Foxx especially, were fantastic. Doc Ock was so good and was really most people's favorite before Spider-Man villain before the MCU, so it makes sense to highlight him. When the Venom post-credit scene first started, I thought, oh no, now we're headed into the Sonyverse, but having him go back was hilarious. Venom was clearly the sixth in the Sinister Six, but got drunk in Mexico instead of going to fight Spidey. Leaving
As
a little,
you do.
as Tom Hardy does. Leaving a little symbiote behind is something they could pick up or not, but it leaves Spidey firmly in the MCU, albeit with a new status quo. All in all, it's a 9 out of 10 movie for me. A few minor things for some plot conveniences and a few of the jokes landing for me personally, but they are minor things. Loved it. Oh yeah, that was a great
Well
scene.
said,
Yeah,
Noel.
that
Well
was a
said.
great scene with the three of them doing science, and Ned's like, Peter, and they're like, yes. Oh, what?
Peter 1, Peter 2,
Yeah.
Peter 3. Although
Parker,
Andrew Garfield should have been Peter 3.
Peter Parker. Yeah, still all of us.
I mean, it was great, and I love the idea. To be fair, I actually realized that he's in Mexico. He's not going to get to New York in time for this movie.
You called it. You called it before this movie came out. You're like, he's going to be on a train somewhere. That's going to be our end.
Yeah, he's going to be like waiting to get there. He's trying to figure it out, and then it's like, oh, everyone's talking about like this alien, and also I just thought that was great. The post credit scene was like, my family disappeared for 5 years.
I know, because he's like,
don't tell me what the heck aliens want.
Aliens eat brains.
Well, yeah, and to be fair, that sounds like some QAnon nonsense. It's like there was never a Thanos. Half the population didn't disappear. It's like, dude, shut up.
Why wouldn't Eddie believe that? He's literally got an alien on his back. It's like, okay, what alien?
I know, because he's very drunk at the time, and it's weird that the symbiote doesn't process that anyway. I guess the symbiote's like, no, you deal with that, dude. I'm not dealing with your alcohol. You keep that in your system.
The symbiote has problems. It's not chicken. The symbiotes have trouble processing that.
Yeah, no, it just. I mean, it was funny. It was a funny scene, but it also makes sense because he's in Mexico. He was in Mexico on the run. How's he gonna get? And again, like I said, I always love the fact that it was this rundown, favela that he's in originally, and then it becomes this Disney resort when he's in the MCU. And I really want to see the next Venom film now, just to see him come back, and it's just this dive bar, It's.
I mean, they did that. I mean, they could have had a quick 30 seconds of the people from the other franchises just popping in different parts of the world. Like, the Rhino shows up and
Like I said, I was waiting for the Sinister. Is it going to be Rhino?
I know. I was keeping
count. Someone pointed out
your
that
body needs redemption too, baby.
No, you see, Paul Giamatti's Rhino was just the worst of all rhinos, and it's like we don't need. That's like a fan-fortastic kind of thing.
I wouldn't see the end of that fight.
Exactly.
We don't need. He beat him up. It's
after with that manhole cover.
Versus a guy in a robot suit. It's like, we know Spider-Man will beat him up because first off, he's Spider-Man. Second off, it's the Rhino. He's dumb. And third off, for what it's worth, this is a Spider-Man that is no longer pulling punches.
Oh, true. Yeah. He went dark. Yeah.
So it's like he's gonna go up there and say, punch the glass to pull the guy out. He's like, my spine. It's like, yeah, well, you should have thought of that before you had your spine fused to a robot, you monk. And
Lilith is right. He should
toss him to the side.
Surprised he wasn't calling himself Ben Rhino.
Like, why do you have a glass window there? I don't know. It's like, wouldn't you do a heads-up display? It
was surplus.
It's so we can see Paul Giamatti, not necessarily so that Paul Giamatti can see out.
It was like shoddy Oscorp.
Exactly.
Shoddy Oscorp merchandise.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is like some Oscorps are not as good as other Oscorps.
I mean, look at that Hobgoblin helmet, for God's sake. Shoddy quality.
I know that's one of the first things we did with Norman in this movie.
Smash it.
That helmet. We're like, nah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that this time.
He came out with the hood and goggles. I was like, all right, Rocket Racer, I see you.
See, I like that. I was negative on it at the start, but I was actually in context. It worked, you know. And that's the. And again, why do you spoil that in the poster? Why do you make all this stuff known?
Because they teased us. We wanted a rubber mask.
People just go to the movies nowadays to not be spoiled. Because we have no it used to be 20 years for a spoiler. Now it's like you got till Monday.
Exactly. It's like
no, this was before it. This is what I'm going to say. It's like they had this artwork out weeks ago.
They do it with everything. Comic books, they're spoiling them Wednesday morning. I'm like, dude, I got a regular job. I can't.
I know. Wednesday
opens.
Phil, here's what I'm going to say. Day one of release, there's all spoiler bans are lifted, but you can't have the company spoiling it before the actual film.
They've been doing that forever, though. They literally have. They've been doing it forever.
I know they have. It's not a good practice, is all I'm saying, Lilith.
People don't mind. Like, they've done the research that people don't actually mind.
Well, I mean that's the truth. I went and saw it, and I'm going to go see it again next weekend. So,
I was going to say, look how much money they made, Charlie Esther. I think they know what they're doing. Number 3 biggest opening of all time.
Yeah, I mean, here's what it comes down to. If spoilers get kids in the seats, then all the better.
Yeah, Gen Z doesn't give a crap about spoilers. They're going just to say that they went and they can talk about it with their friends on the Snapchats and the TikToks.
Pull their phones up, yeah.
Oh, there were so many people just texting.
I saw at least one in my theater. Just some goth dude trying to sneak in every couple minutes.
Oh,
everybody knows you go in with the GoPro right here if you're gonna do it. Just
my!
Not that I encourage it. I'm just saying.
I mean,
work smarter, not harder.
I thought that was natural, Lilith.
First off, I would not understand why anyone would want to watch a film shot on a camera in a theater. It's like it's such poor quality. It's like you're not going to enjoy anything from that.
I know, and then the sounds.
And especially, it's also probably in Korean to start with. So it's just like,
usually it's Russian, to be fair. Usually it's Russian. If you know, you know.
Yeah. But either way, it's not in a language that, unless you speak that language natively, that you do speak. And then it's also a poorly shot thing on a shaky cam. You know. Unless you got a real
it's very sophisticated now, though, Charlie. So.
Unless it's Cosmo Kramer doing the, because Cosmo Kramer, we know
Jerry did it the best.
He gets the bootlegs done right.
That was Jerry.
It's a very sophisticated operation with bootlegs now. So.
All right, come on, we're going long, and I still got 6.5 from Ray. So.
Oh, 6.5.
So Ray, give us what you got.
An average review from Ray. Yes. Ray, one of our patrons. Thank you again. Thank you to our patrons.
And co-host on the last Spider-Cast of the
month. Scarlet Spider, yes. And also host of his own shows, Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast.
Moon Knight, come on.
It's been a while. To Know Where's to Fear Her.
So kids, remember, if you're a Patreon, you get to talk as long as you want.
Hey, well,
we respect that.
Russell, he had to bow out at the last minute. Russell was going to be here, one of our other patrons. So, yes, Ray, Russell, and Justin. Thank you. So. All right, so yes, a man who's been on every podcast on earth, Ray. All right, here's his thoughts on No Way Home.
How's it going, Capes and Lunatics?
What's that echo?
I thought I would give you my thoughts on Spider-Man No Way Home. So look, I'm not going to make this an overly long review, although it may end up being as such, so apologies in advance. But just overall, I absolutely loved this film. I tried to steer clear of all the hubbub that was on the internet about it and all the speculation. Of course, I heard some of the things, some of the rumors, but for the most part, I just tried to stay away from it all. So I went into it kind of, having some expectations, but it exceeded all of them, really. I just love, oh my gosh, it's the only way I can really describe it is that it has really captured the essence of Spider-Man, the character, and like in a way, a lot of the Spider-Man comics, like the classic Spider-Man comics. So you have Peter Parker obviously making huge sacrifices, a lot of loss. He's got to kind of push forward as well. He's really got such a hard life, and this great power and great responsibility, and it's kind of shown here. Beautiful, the riff on Uncle Ben. I think that has kind of now explained to a lot of nitpickers about Tom Holland's Spider-Man and the lack of Uncle Ben. So now we see the alternate reality of basically Aunt May filling that role, and it's almost like a curse that Peter Parker's all throughout the multiverse have to suffer through this. They've got to have a deep loss. We saw Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man talk about Gwen Stacy, and Tobey Maguire's, of course, talking about Uncle Ben. So I love it. And off the back of this as well, I love the fact that it's kind of reiterated that Tom Holland's Spider-Man and the MCU in general is not potentially like the universe or the definitive universe. It's a mishmash, and it's definitely not the 616. I mean, in my mind, the Marvel 616 is the universe. So what we see on screen is an alternate reality, and in that way also that addresses the fact when people say, "Oh, I hate it when they change it from the comics," because it's not the comic universe. It's not the 616. It's its own thing, and I just love how they kind of reiterated that statement with Tom Holland now having Aunt May as his Uncle Ben, so to speak. So brilliant stuff with that. Brilliant stuff with there was a speculation with Matt Murdock. I loved how that was kind of summed up in the first 5 minutes, and that was kind of taken care of. A very brief cameo, but I was just blown away by seeing Charlie Cox as Daredevil and catching that brick. It was just good stuff. But having that out of the way, then managed to focus on all the other stuff. And the villains were fantastic. I was there kind of picking, oh yeah, that one was from the Tobey Maguire movie, that one was from the Garfield one, and it was a perfect mix. There was humor throughout. It had that lovely, the friendship between Mary Jane and Ned and Peter Parker, that network that Peter has, which he ultimately loses at the end. Again, it's such hard luck being Peter Parker. And of course, the big, ticket to this whole thing is seeing the three Spider-Men together, and it still packed a punch when Ned conjured up Andrew Garfield. I loved it. I reckon Garfield had a blast playing Spider-Man again. He seemed to really enjoy playing Peter Parker. He was even, dare I say, a little bit more zanier than his Peter Parker in his movies, in The Amazing Spider-Man. But it just seemed to be he was just enjoying the role, and I really loved that, really appreciated that. Same with Tobey Maguire as well. It was just great to see the OG Spider-Man there, and them talking about the organic webbing was pretty funny. There's so much stuff to talk about. I know you guys are going to cover it all, so I just I don't want to try and go through it all as well. But just finally, where does it take us? As a motorcycle passes by, I love the hard reset of Spider-Man. It's a huge loss. Everyone doesn't know who he is anymore. He's lost everything in that sense. But he does away with the Tony Stark suit. He goes back to the old tried and true, just simple spandex. So I love that he's back to how we kind of know him in the comics, and he's got his apartment, and he's kind of struggling, I guess, to make ends meet. So brilliant stuff. I just can't laud it enough. One of the best films I have seen recently, and definitely one of the better comic book movies that come out as well. Not to say that I didn't like the others. I mean, I absolutely enjoyed the likes of Eternals and Shang-Chi and Black Widow too, but I think this is a level above. Really, and a lot of it has to do with nostalgia, and like I said, I guess action, and this just has a whole thing. So really love it. I can't wait to hear what you guys say about it. I'm assuming you'll give it an A+. I give it full marks as well. It's really good. I'm just trying to think of any at all. No, any negative or quibbles. No. One other final thing. I love it. I didn't realize Ned Filipino, a fellow Philo. So I love that. So seeing his Lola grandmother and her being so nitpicky about the house and getting rid of the cobwebs. There's actually a little bit of I can kind of see that from the Filipino standpoint, and the grandmas and the lullers. So very fun to see that too. But yeah, full marks, and can't wait to hear what you say. See ya.
Thank you, Ray.
Oh man, and when he brought up something, I really had not thought of it until this moment. What they really did is they de-ultimatized Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Where they took him out of this special prep school and all these things, and they put him back to being a kid from Queens who's an orphan, who's struggling to get by. And that's where they're setting him at the start of this. And like I said, him getting into Empire State University and him struggling to work through that. I mean, I would love for him to be in a Quiz Bowl team and he runs across, Empire State versus State University versus MIT, and he meets MJ again. That's going to be fantastic. Spider-Man 4, where the heck is home?
Late registration! And then we're going to get College Dropout.
He's on his own. Spider-Man 4, Home Alone.
Oh, well, Disney already owns that.
Tristan said, Spider-Man 4, homeless.
I mean,
no, but to be fair, I really think the idea of Spider-Man being like I said, and when he goes to Empire State University and he can meet, Professor Emeritus Reed Richards, and he can meet Professor, all these professors of the Marvel Universe. Who's that guy who had the quantum bands? Vaughn. You can meet Professor Vaughn,
the dad,
we can do all the tie-ins. Maybe we'll have, Max Coulson come in as a guest lecturer. There's all these things you can unpack when you get to Empire State University that is going to really expand this. Heck, you could...
Is this how we introduce the Fantastic Four? He goes looking for a job?
Yes, they deny him.
It's a General Motors, pal.
We'll see what they do. It would be awesome. Although, again, you'd have to really create a situation where Reed Richards doesn't say, "Shut up, Ben, for a minute." Ben, shut up for a minute. Kid, you want to work with us? That's fine. Are you of age? Like, well, I'm 18. It's like, and then you could have Johnny Storm come in and say, "Hey, man, I'm 18 too."
No, I was gonna say that's your door. That's your door. Peter goes to college and meets Johnny Storm in college.
Johnny, Wyatt, and Peter. That is just the thing.
That school doesn't stand a chance.
But you know what? But that's the thing. You get Johnny, Wyatt, and Peter together, and they are just like the perfect triad of of just people ready to face the world and have their own adventures, completely unrelated. Honestly, right there. That's a
sitcom. That's a Disney Plus sitcom right there, to be honest.
I'm going to tell you, Spider-Man Homeless is going to be. Here's my prediction. Mark my words. Spider-Man goes, because he gets his GED. He goes to Empire State University at CUNY College. He goes there. He rooms with Johnny Storm, this orphan kid from Long Island who's got kind of a trust fund, but he's also kind of a ne'er-do-well. Wyatt Wingfoot, this kid who's like, he's a person of color, thank you, and an Indigenous American, but also super straight-laced. And Peter, the one guy with superpowers. At the end, he says, "Yeah, I don't know. My sister's husband, or my sister's fiance, he's a rocket scientist. I don't know. There's all sorts of nonsense going on with that." And that's how you introduce the Fantastic Four at the end of the episode. They have one great adventure: Johnny Storm, Wyatt Wingfoot, and Spider-Man fighting some nonsense that no doubt Peter created himself. And that's how you introduce the Fantastic Four and Wyatt Wingfoot, and that's going to be awesome.
And the internet literally breaks.
The internet literally breaks.
I'm surprised the internet did kind of break at my movie theater. A lot of people were having trouble with their ticket. They crashed the website.
Wow.
So like the actual our local web cinema's website. So I thought that was really
Again,
wild.
you can't do one of those big things, Just go to the little theater.
There's no little theaters in Florida, homie. Like we don't.
I know
do
that. I really don't have a little theater
It's
around
AMC
here.
and
You guys
Regal.
need to live in a city. You guys need to live in a city.
I live in a real city. That's why we don't have small.
Charlie watches movies in an alleyway.
He watches Mask of Zorro.
I do it quite
Anyway, but that's the whole thing. He's reset to Marvel.
Yeah.
He's reset to Marvel. Marvel 616 Spider-Man now, where he's poor, he's struggling, and he has to make ends meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Get out
he
that old Sony point and shoot, baby.
And maybe we're gonna meet another Otto Octavius. Maybe we're gonna get a little thing there where he gets
Spider-Man 4, King of the Selfies. You could pay me now, Sony. Or I mean, Disney.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He's gonna need to make money, and I need pictures of Spider. If anyone sees this dangerous monster Spider-Man out there, I hear he has 8 arms.
I need to sell papers. I need to afford scorpion suits and spider slayers.
Well, he needs to get likes and clicks. You need content.
Yes.
You need grainy photos because everyone
Advertising.
knows grainy photos. We're gonna zoom in and enhance on this photo.
And it must be whatever you have to pay him. J.K. Simmons must return. Yes.
Yes. J.K. Simmons, he ain't passing up a paycheck.
I know.
He's in superhero movies. He doesn't have a superhero movie.
I was rewatching those Toby movies. Oh my god, J.K. Simmons is the best.
Although he
No,
does
that
have his
man
own
is-
show. So
He has his own show
not
and shit.
really, but
Yeah, he's
Right.
on a lot. He's a working actor. And
I mean,
he's
he's
also,
on Invincible. He's going to be in the Batgirl movie. I mean, he's everywhere.
he's gonna be around. But first of all, I'm sure Invincible doesn't pay as much as playing Invincible. That there are these levels, but no,
Hey,
he's
what?
working actor.
it's Amazon. They throw money at everybody.
Well,
For
too,
tax
Well,
reasons.
he probably does it from his house too. So it's,
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not saying there aren't advantages, but I'm just saying he's a working actor who likes to work.
oh yeah.
Again, if you're a working actor, working actors who like to work, they're the ones that go to the gym in between movies. They're the guys that say, "Yeah, no, I'm going to keep in shape and I'm going to be ready for whatever you need me to do." Because
So
it's easy
Grace-
when
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. That,
it's easy when you're svelte to pretend to have a paunch. It's much harder when you have a paunch to pretend to have to be ripped.
Unless
So he
you're
gets ripped.
I think I read that on a bumper sticker.
unless you're Shatner, just get a girl.
Oh,
Pull it up, yeah. Well,
Anytime I can slander.
leave the man alone. He's 110. Come on.
He's going to space. He can take it.
Oh, hell.
trust me, Shatner has embraced that he is. He is
He
who
is what he
He's
is. What he
okay with
is.
Lilith burns
He
more than
knows how his bills got paid. He's not worrying about it, so it's all
Lilith
good.
burns more than re-entry. All right. So yes, grades. Lilith, what did you give this?
This is the best MCU movie, but that doesn't mean much for me. Y'all know I hate the MCU, but I did enjoy it a lot. It's an A+ hands down.
That's the A+ from Lilith Hellfire. She would not. She doesn't give out just pity.
I don't
grades.
think I've ever given out an A+ for a
No,
Marvel movie.
I don't think since I've known you, you've never given out an A+.
Not even Iron Man.
None of it. Nothing. Yeah,
Yeah.
we did the Batman trailer also. I remember we
Who
saw
cares?
Morbius, the Batman trailer. Yeah.
Save it for We Are the Night. No one cares.
Yeah, I mean, it was it new? Is this a new Batman trailer?
It was some new footage.
I think it was
Okay.
the latest one. It might have been
Yeah.
online, but it was like the.
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah.
Looked
All right,
like
Charlie.
the same movie to me. I want to give it a higher grade, but everything, it's sort of like I'm going to give it an A. It was a perfect film. I'm not going to give it an A+ because it didn't break my mind in what they did. Nothing in it was, like, to me, groundbreaking or exciting aside from, I mean, the best thing they did was reset Toby to 616 Spider-Man.
You mean Tom?
Oh, Tom, I don't know. One of these kids. The kid that was
Spider-Man
left.
page. He doesn't know anything.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, Tom got reset. He's where he's at. I'm excited about, like, what they might do with Toby or Andrew later, because I do feel like they are, like, Sony has set up their own. Now we're going to do a Toby-averse and an Andrew-averse, and we're just going to do 3 different Spider-Man films a year.
Oh my.
Smarts, you see.
Big brain, empty wallets.
You know, it's like, oh, we only have one character. Well, wait, what if we had 3 characters, but they're the same character? Ah!
Which Spider-Man is going to fight Venom first?
Yeah. So that is my opinion. I do think that Sony is going to start expanding they're going to expand their Spider-Verses from just the fact that they own separate Spider-Verses, and they're going to do a Mayday Parker and things like that. So, you know what? I mean, in that sense, it could be cool, but I mean,
I
wanted to give it a...
Just so you know, it's like Sony's Spider Universe is their cinematic universe.
Yeah, and so I'd give it, I mean, you know, I gave it an A. It's probably B plus A. Yeah, I'm not going to say it's an A minus because I don't want to take away from it.
Yeah.
But it's like right on that border where it's like everything got spoiled. I wasn't surprised by anything, but I liked this story. It was well put together. It was well produced, well directed. It was everything that was good. It's just that because Sony spoiled it before I could enjoy it, it was like, oh, you know, well, it was cool. I like what you chose. I like what you did. There were no bad choices, but I also would have liked to have enjoyed the surprise.
I'm going to give it an A just because, 1, I want Will to have the highest grade. 2, I would have given it an A plus if someone had kicked Norman off the top of the Statue of Liberty and we got the gravity gag. I just wanted someone to knock Norman from a high bridge or something. Just revenge.
You know, Jerry Conway's ghost could never let that happen.
Jerry Conway's still alive. How dare you?
Oh no, you got the whole.
He was first writing Spider-Man that first time.
You got the whole thing that Norman gives the Gwen Stacy speech to.
Oh yeah.
To Tom. Wait, which one is it? Tom Holland to Tom.
Yeah.
Well, I may have did it, but you're the one who did the thing, and you're the one who killed them. You know, it's like, oh yeah, okay, you're doing your Gwen Stacy speech. Thank you.
Jerry Conway is 69, by the way. What a missed opportunity, Phil. No one told me.
I didn't know. Oh, we got to get him for an interview this year. Oh, who did the year?
Yeah, well, yeah, you got like 2 weeks, but dude,
he's 69 until September. He's 69 until
before
September.
he turns 70. Yeah.
Okay, so you got 9 months, Phil. Get on it.
Work your magic.
Hey man, I've been wanting to talk.
Tell him it's Philly Podcast on the line.
I mean, I wanted to talk to him. He wrote all those Spider-Man. He created the Punisher. It's like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's good. The guy's created great stories.
It's nowhere but up from here for Spider-Man. I felt like a lot of the MCU trappings were kind of hindering my enjoyment of the character, but now that all that's gone, it's nowhere but up for me.
And they did one more day better. He was doing it to save the world and not just one old woman.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. And I love Marissa Tomei, but her portrayal of Aunt May, she was the worst in the MCU. Just the worst.
Oh my!
Like she broke Happy's heart. Like screw you.
Well, to be fair, Happy was clingy.
True, I get it. But still.
Are you crying? We broke up.
You know, I mean that's the thing. It's Happy. You know, I mean to be fair, I mean yeah, it's a fling, but it's also it's weird. I mean it's like no relationship isn't weird. To be fair,
got flung.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's
Too soon,
I feel
buddy.
bad for Happy, but I've never been on. I didn't go through their dates. Maybe he was a weird guy on a date, or maybe it was just for
9.95 a
fun,
month.
and she was like, and maybe him taking it more seriously. Maybe he got too wound up in it being too serious. Maybe it was like not even that she was opposed to it being serious, but it's like he wanted it to be serious so much faster, and it's like, dude, cool your jets. I know that you're a superhero guy, and you're like, no, man, people get put into fridges all the time. You want to just lock these things
Welcome
down.
to the freezer.
Oh! Charlie Ezra making Green Lantern jokes.
But, it's like, she's not there yet. She's not ready for that level yet.
Doesn't matter. I don't care. We love Happy and we want what's best for him. Clearly, she wasn't what was best for him. So
Exactly. All right.
Not to be too heavy on this, but let's be fair.
I guess not.
Happy and Pepper in the comics. That's
the comics. This isn't the comics.
I know, but let's face it. Who's left alive at Stark Industries who has the bond right now? That's. I'm just saying. The Happy Pepper convergence
MCU Pepper sucks.
is in the future.
So,
well,
on that note.
On that note, yeah, so let's get out of here. All right, kids. Next week, you're going to hear the Thwippy Awards. Remember those, Lilith Hellfire?
What was that, like 8 months ago?
No, we didn't. All right, so yes, send your thoughts
So I
on
guess
the.
this isn't in contention for a Thwippy Award.
That'll be next year, technically.
We didn't even do best movie. I guess we could. Oh, next year.
It doesn't.
Hey,
although Into the Spider-Verse will be out next year, so
yeah, Cross the Spider-Verse Part 1, so we can put them up against each other next to those things. Yeah. All right, so yes, send your thoughts, kids, on the movie, on and all things Spider-Man. Email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can always follow Twin Spider Cast on Facebook, on Twitter. Find links to all the social medias for all the shows, links to the YouTube channel, links to the Patreon. Most importantly, once again, no one remembers who we are. We're paying for this ourselves. So please, if you can, subscribe to the Patreon. Yes, it's all in the show notes, Lilith Hellfire, I know. Or buy yourself some merch, Capes and Lunatics or Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks. All of it's at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. All right, Lilith Hellfire, where can people find you?
Well, if you guys want to hang out with me on the interwebs, I'm going to try to live tweet more in the new year. You can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire, on Instagram at Lilith Hellfire69, and of course over on TikTok at Lilith Hellfire69 as well. Shoot me some recommendations for what I should be watching and live tweeting next year. Because I have no clue.
That last night.
Russell likes the footlong. Yeah, sorry, Russell, you couldn't be here. All right.
Oh my!
All right, Charlie Esser.
Well, if you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way that our mothers and fathers once did, do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. Of course, follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet things when I feel like it. And I don't usually feel like it when there's nothing on. But when there is, I'll be live tweeting it at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Maz.
Ooh, spider casting. All right, kids. Thanks for joining us. Again, next week, Thwippy. Then in January, getting a bunch of Morbius episodes.
Look, get hyped for that Morbius movie. I promise you it's going to be worth it.
I hope it's decent. It looks from the trailer. It looks decent.
It's going to be crazy, man. It's in the MCU, but it's not in the MCU. We don't know!
Swing on back.
Thwip, thwip, thwip!